Hello, it is Tammi C, the owner of Dreams Are a Reality. I hope that your 2022 is off to a good start. Mine is quite chaotic. It's not even funny. When I laugh, sometimes I guess it might be a nervous laugh because that is not even funny. I know I already told some of you all that I have COVID. I work for the school board here in Chicago, and I'll go on record and say we might just have one of the worst school boards in Chicago. It's just I'm starting off on a negative note. Let me just say how I feel about it. Since going to public school since 19, oh God, how old was I in the 70s when I went? I graduated from grammar school in 1983. But it's always been chaotic, like strikes up and down. So I just think it could be more order in our school system. But that's for another video, and I don't want to bring you down because my video was actually a positive reason. But anyway, I was just saying my year is starting off a little chaotic, but I'm still good. But what I came here to talk about was the power of visualization and how I've used it in my life and how it really did work. I'm a 2-time breast cancer survivor, and I'm so sorry due to this COVID, my voice kind of fades in and out. So beg your pardon. I need to clear. Excuse me. So sorry about that. When I first got sick, it was very aggressive, the cancer. And I remember in 2006, I had spent time reading The Power of Positive Thinking, basically every day. Pieces of that book, I would read that, and Prayers That Avail Much. Between those two books, I began to see my life transform. So once I had the cancer diagnosis and once it settled after 2 weeks, when I first found out, I was devastated because they mentioned that I may not be able to have kids because the chemo could disrupt the reproductive organs, which it did. And I just remember being devastated because I was 36 years old, had never been sick a day in my life, never been in a hospital except the day I was born, like staying overnight or whatever. And it just caught me off guard, of course, and scared me. So once I got my bearings after 2 weeks, I said, Tammi, you have to visualize yourself running a race. You break the ribbon because you're going to win the race. And the doctor is going to say, Tammi, we got all the cancer. You are cancer free. And so I did that every day. And it went that way. Of course, I wasn't running a race, but I was running a race for my life. And towards the end of my 10 months of chemotherapy, 2 surgeries, more chemotherapy, radiation, my doctor said, Tammi, we got all the cancer. You are cancer free. So I wanted to show you all how imperative it is to visualize and stick with it. Do not give up. This is why so many of us do not reach our dreams or get what we want. We give up when we don't see results. You are going to see results. The year that I began reading The Power of Positive Thinking and praying those prayers from the Prayers That Avail Much, I was making, I think, like 50-some thousand dollars. It's back in like 04, 05. I was an office manager. Back then, for me, that was fine. I was a single lady, 50,000. I was doing fine, paying off some debt. I got laid off. After I got laid off, it's like I just kept having to take lower paying jobs. So I went all the way down to like $14.50 an hour. Barely making it, scraping, paying my rent, just trying to keep things afloat. I began to read that book. Within 2 weeks, I got a call from a staffing agency. The recruiter said, I have an IT purchasing job for you. And he did not tell me to pay. He would not tell me to pay. Come to find out, I had to flee from that temp job I was doing. I had to call in sick or something and get to this interview. Because this was in 2006. And this is when we did more, of course, everything wasn't virtual. Nothing was virtual like now. And you had to go in person. So I go in person, I do the interview. They loved me. I get the job. I'm making $14.50. per hour. I went from $14.50, they told me, to $24 an hour. So I'm like, woo, just about $10 an hour. I can see the difference of my check with this. No, no, no. I get paid, the check stub said 28 per hour. And I'm nervous, so I called the HR assistant and I said, hey, you all quoted me 24 per hour, but I have 28. And I didn't want to tell her because I was like, oh God, they're going to take the money back. But I wanted to be honest before, they have to go back and redo the check or whatever. And she said, oh no, Tammy, that's the correct amount. So I went from $14.50 to $28 per hour in 2 weeks from changing how I thought. Because when I read The Power of Positive Thinking, some of the things that book talks about is you create your own happiness, expect the best. That's my chapter to this day. Many years later, I will reread Expect the Best chapter because that's what you have to expect. So no matter what it is, I'm using the cancer diagnosis, which is huge, life-changing, saved my life. And I'm using the money part because that's something that most people worry about, is their health, money, and relationship stuff, which it works for relationships too. I remember around that time I had a list of the characteristics of the guy I wanted, and I kept that list, and I kept praying over that list and staring at it, and the guy that I ended up with, he had basically all those characteristics. And that's another thing. I kept visualizing myself with that person over and over. Not a specific person, but a good person, a good man. So do that too. So I'm just leaving you with some tips. Visualize how you want your life to look. I think I even kind of did this with this apartment I have. I visualized how I wanted my entrance way to look when I come in. This was for my condo or townhome that I was going to buy, and I did not buy it yet. But I moved into a really nice apartment, and this visualization that I did for my townhome or condo, this apartment entranceway favors that. So if you want to buy you a house or some investment property, visualize that property and keep that property in your mind. If you do see some property you want, maybe you're not quite ready or you're working on it, go sit in front of that property and look at it and visualize you going in that property or in that home. And it don't matter if it's a mansion. It's okay. None of this stuff is impossible. Write your list of the lady you want. Write your list of the guy you want. Visualize you and that person on a date, getting on an airplane together. Doing whatever it is you like. Visualize that. And if it's your career, you want to start your own business, visualize yourself going into your own office, your own salon, your own barbershop, your own restaurant. Visualize it. Going back to school, you getting that degree in your hand, walking across that stage. These things work. So I hope something that I said helps you. And if any of you out there fighting COVID like me, I'm sending you a lot of love and good health. And regardless, I send you all love. But I hope my tips work. And I have to keep creating these videos and podcast videos. I do it for you, to help you. But also I do this to keep me on the right track. Because the same things you all battle with, I can too. Especially being in a house like this for all these days. The battlefield of the mind. The mind can start wandering around. So keep at it. Stay positive. Stay focused. And I'll be back again with some more information. Have a good one. Bye-bye.